Hi everyone, welcome back to Real Skin with Rosanna. If you're new here, I'm Rosanna, and on this channel I review makeup and skincare on real mature skin because I'm 58 and my skin is normal to dry, very dry in the winter. And if you enjoy honest beauty reviews, I'd love you to subscribe. It has helped support my channel. But now let's jump into today's review. Today I'm trying the Kevyn Aucoin, I believe that's how you say his name. I think I've been saying it wrong forever, Aucoin. The Foundation Balm in the shade FB06. I haven't used this in quite a while. I used to own a large size one, and I'll show you all of this. But instead of purchasing a full size version, I decided to pick up the mini. It's really adorable. Look at this. It's a teeny tiny, and it comes with this adorable mini brush. Look how cute this is. Can we just appreciate this? And it's a good way to try you know, the foundation without spending a lot of money. But this is the cutest, tiniest foundation brush I've ever seen in my entire life. I actually laughed when I opened the packaging because it's so cute. So the mini contains 2.5 grams, which is like 0.08 ounces of product, while the full compact, which is this one, is 0.7 ounces and retails for $52. The full size also includes this brush. It's a Kevyn Aucoin brush specifically to work with this balm texture. Now, you're probably wondering, well, you have a large, why did you get a mini? Well, I've had this for years. I love this brand, but you know, it's old, so I'm not using it on my face, but I just can't bring myself to throw this out because I really, you know, it was one of my first purchases that was expensive along with my my Armani. So I just wanted to show you this is what it looks like in the larger size. So the foundation balm, it's available in 20 shades and it's designed for all skin types. It's described as full coverage, buildable, that gives the skin like a flawless finish while creating the appearance of smoother, younger looking skin. Now, I'm not interested in looking younger. I am my age, and that's great. Whoops, I'm dropping things here. A little different, of course, is the texture. It starts, I'm going to show you, as a solid cream. You can see that. Okay. You work it in, it transforms into like a velvety powder finish. Now, I know a lot of people think for mature skin, powder, ooh, powder's the devil, but I don't think so. We'll see. So the idea is to have a beautiful, smooth canvas that looks flattering in any lighting. You can wear it sheer with a light hand for a more natural look, or we're going to build it up for full glam. I think I'm going to build it up today because I had a facial this weekend and I feel like I broke out a little bit here. I don't know if I'm purging, but you see here. And I'm also curious to see if it covers this and my pigment here, my sun damage. So we're going to see. My face feels like a bit of a mess today. So we're going to check it out. And the formula, let's talk about that. It includes, of course, skincare ingredients, and it has hyaluronic acid to help hydrate the skin, vitamin E, an antioxidant that helps protect the skin, and a nourishing blend of avocado oil, olive fruit oil, and something called phytosterols. I don't know. I'm not sure I'm pronouncing that right, but it helps the skin feel comfortable and look supple throughout the day. We'll see. And also the claim from the brand is that the foundation helps blur the appearance of pores, soften the look of fine lines, improve the appearance of uneven texture, and create a smoother looking complexion. Now, Kevyn Aucoin was, I think, one of the first celebrity makeup artists, and I think he might have been one of the first to do these balms because now they're everywhere. So I really think he was a trendsetter, and he really he left us too soon, but I was always a big fan. So these are big claims for someone like me with mature skin, and we're gonna put this little guy to the test, okay? One more interesting claim about this balm is because that it dries down to a soft powder finish, it's also safe to use not only on your face, but on your arms and legs. Maybe if you have some dark pigmentation somewhere, or if you want some extra coverage on your body. I've never reviewed a foundation that actually mentions that. I won't be doing that, but just, you know, it's another option. So for application, the brand recommends using the included little brush, and I am, because this is small, so to get it out of here, I'm going to use this tiny brush, but then I will switch over to a larger brush. So I'm going to dab and press into the areas on my face that need basically more coverage. So we're gonna start by, basically, I wanna do more coverage, I said. So if you wanted lighter coverage, you're supposed to lightly tap. So just sort of like dab. I'm not going to do it yet. And then press into the areas that need coverage and then gently buff it outward. For fuller coverage, we're going to swirl the brush into the balm, pick up more product, and then press and buff it all over the skin, layering where I need more additional coverage, like probably here and here. So I'm going to use the tiny brush, and I want to experience this exactly the way the brand intended. So as you know, I have visible texture and large pores, fine lines here, normal to dry in the summer, slightly dry in the summer, and then dry in the winter. So let's see. So I'm going to swirl, and I'm going to also show you the shade. I'm going to swirl, and let's see if you can see the shade. And again, this is the FBO, which is kind of like a light to medium. Can you see that? Okay, so I'm just gonna do one side of my face first. Whoops, and there it goes. Okay, so I'm swirling, swirling, swirling. Okay, and now I'm just gonna dab. And I know you start like in the middle of your face generally, right? And work your way out. Okay, so I'm just gonna dab everywhere, and then I'm gonna use the bigger brush because while this is adorable, I think it might like take a minute. And I'm just gonna look in my makeup mirror here because I don't want to put a ton on. All right, so I'm gonna use the other Kevyn brush that comes with the larger one, and I'm just going to blend. Now, I think a little bit goes a long way. Let me see if you can, let's see. And the texture feels like firm in the pan, but once it touches the skin, it glides on remarkably well. It's like, it's not like you have to really like pull. It has some slip. Okay, so let's see. I'm gonna try to go in with this thing. Let's see if it works because I wanna, all right, that look does pretty good. All right, let's see if we can cover this from this weekend. All right, not bad. And in here, my capillaries, the broken capillaries. All right, let's see. All right, I'm gonna try my mirror here a bit. So, all right. I'm also gonna do my eyelids because they are darker. And I feel like when I put my makeup on later, it'll be a nice base. So let me go in again with the small little brush. So I think the coverage is really good. So I'm gonna go in here a little more. And here I have this little red spot here, and this little red spot almost has disappeared. Let's go in here. All right, so I think the shade matches really well. I think my redness has disappeared almost immediately. It doesn't feel like heavy on my skin. And I'm just gonna try to like press and then buff. I think it's smoothing out just really beautifully. I think it gives an even complexion. And I just wanna see here above, like my lips here usually kind of like creases and kind of gets all over the place there. I think it looks really smooth and really pretty. All right, let me see here. So let's put this away. And I'm just gonna check my mirror here so that I just wanna make sure everything is blended in nicely. And I think it looks beautiful. Let's see, let's get up close. All right, didn't quite cover here. So let me see if I go in with the mini a little bit to add. I'm just gonna press. All right, so I think if you press in and buff it like this, and how about right here? All right. So this is definitely full coverage, but it feels really good and it powders down, but I don't know, can you see it's not like, I feel like it's not that traditional powder. Like if you were wearing like say a Laura Geller powder foundation, it's not, I mean, I guess it's not powdery, if that like explains it well. So let's get in here. Let me buff that out a little. Okay, still, I mean, you could still see a little bit of that. And that side looking pretty good. I'm gonna see maybe a little bit more redness here. Okay, I think it looks really good. It's smoothing out beautifully, I think, across my cheeks. And I'm going to go in with my one size sponge. I love this stamp, but look at the size, and it feels great on your hand. So I'm just gonna go in to make sure, just for some excess, because again, on my upper lip sometimes it just sort of like all sits there. Okay, So my first impression here, it's a soft, matte, full coverage. I don't think it's flat or lifeless. It's definitely not radiant, and they don't say that it is. But without looking overly powdered, which was my concern, because for mature skin, I think powder is fine, but I think you have to have a light hand. I think my skin looks blurred. I think my skin tone is even, and it doesn't feel like I'm wearing a ton of foundation. I keep dropping everything here, guys, sorry. And I really want to see how this wears. It's pretty early morning here. So I'm going to wear it for like 8 hours for sure. So the other thing I wanted to do is do my concealer. So I'm going to go in with the Bobbi Brown Skin Corrector in Light Bisque. Okay, so this is usually how I do a corrector first. And then I'll buff that in. Where are we here? Here's my little concealer brush. Let me do my ring finger first. I do like to do things with my fingers. I know people freak out, but I don't know. Kevyn Aucoin always said you should do things with your fingers first to warm things up, and I defer to him in all things. But I know, I think someone made a comment on another creator that I follow because she was talking about all these brushes she uses, and the comment was like, am I the only one that just like slathers it on my hands and just like puts it on my face? And I'm like, you know what? Yeah, that's usually me too. But okay, so corrector is in. Now you see I have pigmentation and it's shadowing because, the skin is very thin now because, again, I'm older. It is what it is. I'm not sure there's enough concealer on the planet. Now, for a concealer, I'm going to use the L'Oreal Skin Ink. Now, it says to shake it first. Now, I did a video on this, and I wore it for 30 hours. I actually slept in it, and it didn't transfer anything, but I did not like it as a foundation because it's very grippy. So I'll show you. Put it on your, hand, and it, grips right away. So I don't really want to put it on my face right away, but I said I would try it as a concealer first, or not first, but rather a concealer than a foundation, because it just did not, I don't know. It was just flat. It really gripped. You have to work with it slowly. And I think for mature skin, this was like a fail for me. But I didn't want to throw it out. So I want to see how it works here. If it creases, if, what it does to my, my under eyes. I don't know if it's covering that wonderfully, but I'm just gonna go in with a little setting spray. It's a little trick I learned from watching Vincent Ford, who's another fantastic. Here we go. Okay, so let's see if it sets up a little tiny bit. All right. I mean, it feels pretty soft and that it has a little slip, but if you, I don't know, I'm gonna show you on my hand, it grips. I can't even explain. It's just sort of grips and doesn't let go sort of thing. So it's a little scary. All right, but I wanted to see. All right, it doesn't look terrible, but again, my under eyes are just, they're strong. And I'm just gonna set it with just a tiny bit of powder, going with the Tilbury, but I just want to go in with a teeny tiny bit. I don't want a ton of creasing. All right, so let me get in really close so you can see. I'm just gonna put a little here. All right, so, okay. So again, my shadowing is just, I don't wanna put too much because then I feel like it's just cakey. So I rather just have my natural look, and that's what it is. All right, let's see. So that's kind of showing through now. Okay, so this is the foundation. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go and do my makeup. I'm gonna use the Kevyn Aucoin palette, which is all powder, to see how that works with a powder foundation. And then I will be right back to show you in natural light. But, oh, actually, before I do that, let me take you into my other room that has a bigger window because I want to show you this in some really natural light, even though it's another dreary, gonna be rainy day. So you can see there, it's actually got a little bit of radiance, but we'll see. I don't know. My natural radiance and beauty. So this is what it looks like up close personally. here and here. It's not settling, but of course I just put it on. Okay, so I'm gonna go do my makeup and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back with the rest of my makeup finished. Everything blended beautifully. I used all powder. I used the Kevyn Aucoin palette and some Lisa Eldridge for my lips and my eyes, and Huda mascara, and everything will be in the description. So it applied without disturbing the foundation underneath, which is a really good sign. So now it's time for the wear test. I'll check back later today after about 8 hours. Maybe I'll also do a 5-hour, but I also wanted to show you the makeup again, in natural light. So we're gonna just walk over to my window, and here we are in my kitchen dining area. So here we are. I think the color is good. I look very pale today. And I did put some highlighter on, so that's not the foundation. And it looks pretty. I think it looks pretty good. It hasn't like really done anything weird yet. Also, I put highlighter here. I think the concealer here is already like kind of caking and creasing. I have no idea what I'm gonna do with that skin ink. I'm gonna have to think of something else or regift. All right, so I'll check back with you all in a few hours with my wear test. So I'm back after several hours of wear. So I've worn this for 7.5 hours. The foundation has held up really well. I'm in front of my big window in my kitchen, which gives off a lot of natural light. So I'm gonna get up really close. It hasn't separated around my nose, but it hasn't really continued with the coverage here for my little breakout, and here my sun damage. So I think if I had to do it again, maybe I'd go in with a little bit more coverage there. It hasn't become oily or patchy or really broken apart or kind of even settled. It usually here is an issue for me, but it hasn't really settled at all. Now I haven't touched it up at all except for my lipstick. But I have still my blush on, my highlighter, and my bronzer that were powder from the Kevyn Aucoin palette. So that held up, I think, really nicely. I think it's really pretty. My pores look softened. It looks filtered. I think the match is great. I think proper skin prep is important with this formula because it says it softens down to a powder, but I don't get really a powder finish, which is good, you know, because you're not seeing like a very powdery kind of dry look. But if that's a problem for you, then I would definitely recommend moisturizing beforehand really well. I had a primer on. It was my blurring pore one. I'll put that in the description. And I can understand why this has such a loyal following. You don't really need a lot of product. You can build on it. And now it really did cover this better. So it kind of faded a little bit. It does help blur pores. I don't have any. I'm going to show you here. Like no polka dotty nose at all. I'm not loving the concealer, that skin ink as a concealer. I don't know if the color's off or you could see there's creasing. It's dry. I'm not loving it. I don't know what I'm going to do with that skin ink. Probably give it away. I don't know. I think the foundation is buildable. The coverage is excellent. You don't need a lot of product. I understand why this foundation has a loyal following. I mean, what do you think? Have you tried this? Did you like it? Did you like the appearance of your skin? Because I like the appearance of my skin. I think it looks elegant. I think it looks sophisticated. I think it's buildable and you can customize it. If you want more sheer, you use like that swirly method. If you want more coverage, you press. So there is one caveat, of course. If you love a radiant, glowy foundation, this one is probably not for you. Although I use the powder highlighter and there's highlighting here. So I think you can work on that. So I think it offers impressive coverage. It still feels comfortable on my skin. It doesn't feel dry, it doesn't feel tight. I mean, I think it's worth trying, especially if you're unsure if the minis are still available. I know there aren't a lot of shades left with that, but if your shade is available for $13.50, I think it's a fantastic way to, to try it before committing to it. So I'd love to hear from you. Have you tried it? Have you tried the balm? Did it work for your skin? Would you try it? If you enjoyed this review, Give this a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.